Welcome back to the SMS podcast. I'm here today to review the new Ryan Gosling movie, The Fall Guy, directed by David Leitch. Leck? I don't fucking know. And this is the same guy who directed Bullet Train, Deadpool 2, Hobbs and Shaw, Atomic Blonde. So definitely a good action director. Also, he's a former stuntman, which is like the inspiration for this whole movie. Let's get into it. What did I think about the movie? I thought it was, I saw it twice because the first time I saw it, I don't know if I was too drunk. I guess it was. I slept during the movie. I think I slept for like at least 30 minutes. So I woke up, or no, I don't remember what part I slept at for the first time I saw this movie, but I saw it again today because I'm like, oh, I thought it was lame. I'm just like, oh, all the jokes I thought were really bad. I was just looking at the screen the whole time. I'm like, wait, are these supposed to be funny? And then every time I woke up, when I saw it the first time, I saw Emily Blunt's botched face, and I was just petrified. But yeah, so saw it again today. So what's this movie about? Obviously, it's about a stunt guy played by Ryan Gosling. His name is Colt Seavers, and he's the stuntman for this character played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's basically a fake Matthew McConaughey in this movie. He has a southern accent. I don't remember that was only for the movie scenes, movie within the movie within the movie. Or he might have had the accent the whole time. It's basically a fake ass McConaughey, and he goes missing. Also, first, I forgot to totally mention, in the first scene in the movie, it's this one take, and you're just following Ryan Gosling up to do this stunt, but this stunt goes horribly wrong. And you see that he broke his back and he's been out for 18 months. Now he's a fucking valet driver. And I guess he gets his mojo back because he does. Some guy recognizes him and he's like, oh shit, you're Colt Seavers. What happened to you? You're doing valet now. This seems kind of funny because the actor who's acting like a total dick, he's like, I got you, bro, with this tip. And it was a fucking $5. So Ryan Gosling basically sees his car and it's like this Challenger, and obviously he drives like a maniac. And then you cut to the next scene, and then you see the next scene where he's contacted by the producer of the movie they're working on, who's played by Hannah Waddingham from Ted Lasso. That MILF in this movie, she has this terrible wig. It looks like a fucking bush on her head. So she contacts him to work on this new movie that's being directed by Emily Blunt's character Jodie. So it's pretty funny thing in the movie. The movie they're making in the movie is this fake ass Dune mixed with Mad Max. It's so funny. It's called Maelstrom. So Gail asked him to join the shoot all the way in Sydney, Australia. And she also tells him that Jodie called for you to be in this movie. So obviously he agrees. And you cut to them being in Sydney, and Ryan Gosling, he reconnects with Winston Duke's character, Dan Tucker, who's, I guess, his best friend. I'm like, damn, you haven't seen me in 18 months. He's also the stunt coordinator on the movie. I guess he moved up because Ryan Gosling says to Winston, he's like, what should I call you though? He's like, just call me boss. And they do this crazy ass stunt in the movie. I don't know if they showed on the trailers or not, in which they do a barrel roll with the car. And apparently they broke the world record because the car rolls over 8.5 times. And then when Colt gets out the car and Jodie sees him, she's like, what is he doing here? I didn't want him here. And then Colt scoos because obviously Gail lied to him. And it's just this awkward romance. So then we cut to the next stunt they're gonna do. And this time he has to get set on fire and slammed against the wall. And they do this joke in the scene, which started off very cringe. It was a joke, and it's like Joey's trying to explain to him what happened, why they're in this relationship, why she hates him. And then eventually it got a little bit better, but it goes on for way too long. And it's just them going back and forth about how their relationship fell apart. And at the end of the scene, they're like, he apologizes, and then he's like, well, I'm still loving you, blah, blah, blah. Then we see Gail visit Colt in his trailer, and Colt tells her, well, you lied to me, why am I really here? And she just tells him that writer Aaron Taylor Johnson's character has gone missing, and apparently he's in with some shady people. And the reason why she hasn't called the police is because if the producers of the movie find out, then the film's gonna get scrapped. So she tasked Colt to find him within the next 48 hours. And I thought it was so stupid. Because the whole plot falls apart because it makes no sense why a stuntman. Because this is based off a TV show from the 80s. Apparently, the character of that show is also a bounty hunter. And in this one, he's just a stuntman. So why is he? It's just so dumb. It's so badly written. It makes no sense. So then you see Colt get this car that they let him use, and he goes to listen to Taylor Swift, which I thought was pretty goofy. And then Jody shows up. She's like, "What the fuck are you listening to?" He's like, "Oh, I just turned on the radio." And then she gets in the car and she talks about how important this movie is. And then he promises her that he won't fuck anything up. Also, Jodie, before she directed this movie, she was literally a camera operator. So somehow, within less than 2 years, she becomes the director of this fucking huge blockbuster. It's so stupid. It makes no sense at all. I mean, I guess, yeah, you can say, oh, well, it's because Gail wanted to have like a lackey and control what was going on behind the scenes. But whoever wrote the movie, they should have written in that, well, she was the writer or she was the cinematographer of this last movie, but the camera operator, absolutely not. Or she's an actress trying to become a director. Anything else than whatever dumb shit they did. So then we see Colt investigating. He goes to a writer's apartment, but he gets attacked by Teresa Palmer's character. Who, Teresa Palmer, she's in this movie at most 5 minutes. I don't know why she's even in this movie. She's in this movie for no reason, which makes no sense to me at all. This role, it could have been like some random up and comer and not Teresa Palmer. She has nothing to do. It doesn't make any sense why she's in it. I guess they wanted an Australian actress to be in this movie. So Colt gets attacked by her, and after a bit of fighting around, Colt realizes that she's using a prop sword, and then he tries to explain to her that he's looking for Ryder because of the movie. So that's when Teresa Palmer tells him that Ryder also goes to this nightclub and that he should try to look for him there, that he's friends with this drug dealer there. And also she gives him the outfit. He's wearing this neon suit, which you see in all the trailers. So when Colt gets to the club, he meets with a drug dealer named Dune. I mean, this movie thinks it's so clever. This is so dumb. So when Cole asks for Ryder, Dune gives him. Dune's like, oh yeah, give him a Shirley Temple, which is actually drugged, and it's some weird ass drug. I don't even know what it is. It's like speed mixed with acid, and he tries to get his guys to deal with Colt, but when Colt starts tripping, he goes crazy. And I guess he knows how to fight too, and he beats the shit out of these three goons. He catches up to Dune, Dune goons, somebody owns. Catches up to Dune, but Dune gets in this cab, and fucking Colt then jumps in front of the cab. He puts on a mouth guard, and Dune tries to tell the cab driver to give away, and the cab driver's like, I had to stop, what the fuck? He's like, yo, this is crazy shit, what the fuck? And Colt confronts him. He's like, what the hell is going on? Why'd you drug me? And then Dune tells Colt that he was paid to drug him, and tells him about this hotel, maybe where to find Ryder, and he has to find somebody named Kevin, ask for a fruit platter. And the whole time, Colt's seeing this unicorn. So Dune tells him that, well, when you stop seeing unicorns, that means the drug's completely out of your system. So at the hotel, Colt runs into Jody and Gail, and Jody's just telling him about how this dude keeps meddling with the movie, how they're trying to make it to this purely about the action, but Jody wants to make some of it, to make it about the central theme, about the love story. And then they leave, and that's when Colt meets with Kevin, who gives him fruit platter, and all it is just the key to Ryder's room. And this scene's pretty funny because when he tries to open the room, it doesn't work. So then he awkwardly gets another card, and it doesn't work again. So he just busts into the room. Colt investigates this room. Jody calls him again. Talk about some ideas for the movie, and obviously they're flirting at the same time. Afterwards, Colt then finds a body. Apparently, it's another stuntman. His name is Henry, and I guess this is supposed to be Ryder's stunt double. So then Colt calls Gail, and she advises him not to call the police, which is obviously suspicious. So when he was about to leave, the police do pull up, but they don't help him, obviously, because police are no help. They just mentioned that his car is parked illegally. So then when he tries to show them the body completely disappeared. All the ice and everything is just gone. So I don't know how long it's taken for them to get this body out, because there was a lot of ice in there and the whole body. So I guess that was hours later. which is some of the weird editing in this movie. And it's funny, it's like Colt gets a ticket. So then we cut to the next day of shooting, and Dan complains that Jodie was inspired by whatever she talked about with Colt, because now she has these fucking huge, complicated stunts that she wants to do for this movie. And also, we see Cole basically the whole time he's standing in for Ryder, and they show that they're using deepfake technology to cover up the stunts. I guess they're adding the element of deepfake into it too. So afterwards, Jody then invites Cole out to drinks and karaoke, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm down." But on his way to karaoke, Colt runs into Alma Martin, played by one of the girls from Joyride, that movie from last year. I think she was the sex addict one, and she's Tom's assistant, and also this trained dog named Jean-Claude, who's French dog who's French. So when he asks Alma about Ryder, she says that she last saw him Anne Henry at this crazy party before Gail called her away from it. But what you find out is that Alma has Ryder's phone. And because of that, Ryder's head of security hounding her about the phone. And she knows that there's some shady shit on it. And she's willing to turn it in. But, Hollywood, like Game of Thrones, she wants a producer credit on Miller Storm. And Colt's just like, what the hell? I'm just a stuntman. A producer credit, you're out of your mind. And she's like, well, I want protection. And Colt's like, well, I'll see what I can do. And right after that, we see Ryder's head of security, who then kidnaps fucking Alma. And that's when Colt grabs Jean Claude's dog and he steals the truck to chase after them. All while this is happening, Jody's at the bar, like depressed that he didn't show up. And she's about to go up sing karaoke. She changes the song to Against All Odds. And then we get this scene where it's like the whole time the song's playing. It's weird. She singing karaoke to it, but when the scene that's intercut, they're just playing the song. So I didn't understand the point of showing her singing. Why not just have her singing or have the song on at the same time? But then, I mean, they cut in the song. No, they cut in her singing the song at the same time at like the end of the scene. It's very weird. And obviously, Colt's fighting the goons, and it's like this scene, the action's like a little clunky in the scene because in the rest of it, we're seeing these badass barrel rolls and shit. And in this scene, you can tell it's like probably shot on a green screen. Yeah, I think most of the scene probably shot on a green screen. And the special thing about this dog is that it bites people in the balls because that's what it's trained to do. So Cole obviously gets the dog to bite some of them in the balls, and then he catches up to Alma to get rid of the driver goon, and then they stop the car, and then Colt fucking crashes fucking through the windshield. It's pretty badass, and he gets right up from it, and finally he's able to get to the karaoke bar, but of course Jody's long gone. But Dan's there, and not Ryder, Colt. I keep saying Ryder for Colt, tells him Dan about this phone, and then Dan talks to this fellow crew member named Venti. They're like flirting and shit. They're like damn, they definitely fucked already. I think he gives her Ryder's phone to hack into, but she tells him that this phone is heavily protected, that it's not very easy to get into. It takes at least 10 to 12 days to get into it. I'm pretty sure that's what they said. And then Colt's like, well, what if we don't have a couple days? And she like, well, we can always try to get the password. And that's when they go to Ryder's apartment afterwards to look through all of his notes. And of course, they find the password. And Venti unlocks the phone. And Colt and Dan, they find this video of Ryder killing Henry, his stuntman. It's all an accident. He does this dumb thing. He kicks Henry too hard, and then Henry, I think he breaks his neck, something like that. So then moments later, Venti calls Dan to inform him that the news is reporting about Henry's death, and they're naming Cole as the prime suspect because they have footage of Cole at the hotel covering his face up like a dumbass. And yeah, I thought that was pretty stupid because the body it should have been decomposing for at least a couple days. And Ryan Gosling just got to Australia, so he has an alibi. He was in LA, and obviously he could corroborate that he was in LA. But obviously this movie's dumb, so now Colt's on the run, And of course, Ryder's security shows up. They open fire on Colt and Dan. Since they're both like stuntmen, they both fuck shit up. But Ryder's phone gets shot out of Colt's hands by Dressler. And then they fight off some more goons. And then Colt jumps off this ledge onto the boat of Ryder. And of course, who's there but Ryder himself? And then he gets knocked out. So then Colt wakes up to find himself tied up with Ryder demanding his phone back. And Ryder obviously admits everything. And then they say the name of the movie. He's like, well, I'm setting up to be the fall guy. And he's basically explaining everything, like that the cover up of all this was Gail's idea. Also, he admits that he set up Colt's accident, which is insane to me. All because he felt that Colt was stealing his thunder, which is insane. That's literally attempted murder. And all this happens as Gail goes to meet with Jody to tell her that Colt's his suspect for murder, he killed Henry, all that shit, blah blah blah. So then Ryder asks about what happens to the phone, and Colt just tells him that, well, Dressler destroyed it, and Ryder's goons douse Colt with kerosene to light him on fire. Some of it gets on Colt's mouth, and then he spits it at Dressler, and then lights him up. So then Colt hops on a boat and tries to get away, steering backwards.
Like he's Jason Bourne.
They also make another Jason Bourne reference, like when Colt gets his gun taken away, the prop gun, kind of like Jason Bourne. While this boat chase is happening, Colt tries to contact Jody, but Gail got her phone wet at the same time when Colt was calling. And eventually he does reach Jody, and he tries to explain himself. But at the same time, the fucking goons are chasing after him still. And when he's like explaining himself to Jody, eventually he crashes the boat, but he jumps off to safety. And then you see that this fucking huge boat crash, he's now presumed dead. It's billed as a suicide. It's set as like a murder-suicide theory. And also at the same time, they're using the deepfake technology, put Colt's face on Ryder's body in the video of when Ryder killed Henry. So the next day, Colt reaches out to Dan to help him sneak back on set. He's disguised as an alien in the movie. And when he reaches Jody, for some dumbass reason, Cole sneaks up on Jody and she's fucking paranoid because she's watching the video of Colt's quote unquote death and she's realizing that he probably jumped off because she like put in this angle over and over again. So this scene is pretty funny too. She's beating the shit out of fucking Cole. And just all this shit until Cole holds a fucking thumbs up, which you see the whole movie. And Jody's like, oh my god, I knew it was you. And they kiss. But fucking Gail's outside. And then Colt hides. And Colt's hearing of Gail talk about his supposed death, as well as this big stunt that they're supposed to do with Colt. Now Gail just says, oh, we can do it in CGI, we can do it with VFX. That all Jody has to focus on is Ryder's final monologue to make it epic. So after Gail leaves, Colt and Jody organize this plan to get Ryder to confess to the murder. And Colt sets up this plan where he's going to be in the car with Ryder to do this stunt because Ryder always forgets that he's always mic'd up.
So that he could get a confession out of him.
So that's when we cut to the crew getting ready for this scene. And then Ryder finally shows up to set. And Jody tries to get Ryder to do this stunt. And he's like, what stunt? This not in the script. And she's like, oh, this is just for close up. We just need to get a shot of you. And that's when Colt reveals himself. He gets in the car and reveals himself and drives the car away. And obviously, Ryder's goons chase after them. But Jody and Dan are helping him out to keep them off long enough for Ryder to confess. Eventually he does, and he also admits that Gail came up with the frame job all before Colt pulls off the epic jump across the canyon, which knocks Ryder out. So then Gail gets on a fucking chopper to get Jody. It's like, let's leave, Jody. They can not deal with all this toxic masculinity. That was pretty funny. And then she gets on the helicopter with Ryder, and Colt gets on it, and Colt's fucking fighting Ryder and Gail at the same time until he gets the tape back. And then they try to shoot at fucking Colt, but Jody and Dan set up this crash mat under them, and Colt just jumps off, flips them both off. Colt lands, and then Colt and Jody eventually celebrate with a kiss. Afterwards, we cut to fake trailer for this fake movie, which is funny, and you see that Ryder's been replaced with fucking Jason Momoa. I thought it would have been funnier to make Colt the lead actor, but it doesn't matter. So the film's a big hit. Alma gets her producer credit. I guess.
And the narration finally ends with Colt claiming that him and Jody have their happy ending like heroes in the movie.
And then the after credits, they show some of the stunts in the movie. And in this post credit scene, for some reason, I don't know why this is the post credit scene. It could have just been the movie actual ending. We see police coming to arrest Ryder and Gale, and we see that they're actually from the Fall Guy TV show, Lee Majors and Heather Thomas. But Ryder fucking dies trying to leave the set, and he blows up. And that's when you see Alma calling for Jason Momoa's agent. And the end. Whew, wow, that's mouthful. So yeah, that's the Fall Guy. We get the positives. Ryan Gosling, he's great in the movie. He's basically playing another version of Ken. He's basically stunt guy Ken in this movie. What else? I really liked Gail, the producer. She was pretty funny, especially with that fucking wig. What else? What else did I like? I definitely like some of the action. Some of the action looks just, oh, look at that. Oh, we're doing this action scene. Like, I thought the bridge scene looked like shit because it's all CG, green screen. I definitely like all the crazy stunts, like the barrel roll. Also, when they jumped the canyon. I also liked Winston Duke in this movie. His friendship with Ryan Gosling. Oh, also Ryder. I thought he was pretty funny. Aaron Taylor Johnson as his wannabe Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, that's about it. Ooh, and now that natives, Emily Blunt in this movie, her face looks so puffy from the filler and Botox that it distracted me the whole movie because some scenes she looks normal. And then you see this fucking botched face. It's out of control. I also thought she was miscasted in the movie. And I really like Emily Blunt. She's great actress. Just go watch fucking Edge of Tomorrow or Looper, where she's amazing in both those movies. In this movie, I don't know. And also, the romance in this movie, you can tell in the beginning of the movie, and they're flirting and stuff, but you don't really feel like this fucking soulmate connection that apparently they have. It just feels like they're hooking up. That's what it feels like. This crazy shit, like, oh, you ghosted me all that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, didn't you say it was a fling? And Ryan Gosling's like, oh, I didn't know it was a fling. I really liked you because he has like a huge crush on her. I didn't understand at all. The writing also, it's so fucking dumb. What they should have done is since the Fall Guy TV show, Lee Majors, stunt guy, and a bounty hunter. That's what they should have made Ryan Gosling in this movie. Not just a stunt guy, because it makes absolutely no sense for Gale to call him up just because he's Ryder's former stunt double. It makes no sense. Also, I thought a lot of the jokes didn't work at all. I did laugh at some of them. The comedy, it really wasn't there, especially because it's action comedy. I thought some of the jokes were way too meta, like the Comic Con joke. He's like, yeah, we gotta do it for Hall H. Like, nobody aside from people in Hollywood and nerds are gonna know what the fuck Hall H is or even Comic Con. Like, what are we talking about? Another positive I forgot to mention is that it's not very long. It's only 2 hours and 5 minutes long, I think. Not very long. It's not like Argyle, which is only 2.5 hours, or some other movies like fucking Terrifier 2, which have no reason at all to be 2.5 hours long. This movie, it does, kind of, barely. But yeah, this movie, it's okay. I would recommend it if you had unlimited pass at your movie theater, what's it called? The AMC A-list or whatever the fuck it's called, Regal Unlimited. Definitely watch it if you have one of those, but if not, I would just fucking wait to see it on streaming. Like the action, I mean, the action's not that great. I would give this movie a 6 out of 10. It was pretty disappointing. The fact that people are like so shocked that this movie flopped, I have no idea why. It's not very memorable. And also, the budget of this movie is out of control. The fact it was claimed that it was 130 million, but apparently it's like 140 to 150 million. Like, what the fuck made you think this movie would be a fucking huge hit? If there was like maybe crazier stunts, then I guess it would have made that much. Or even a different actor. Like, this movie's not even gonna make as much as Bullet Train. And that movie was apparently a flop too, even though it didn't really flop. It just didn't make huge profit. But this movie just flopped. I don't know why people are surprised that this movie is gonna get released early on digital. There's another movie that I was supposed to do, Abigail, which probably gonna do for next week. That also flopped. Nothing like this amount of flop because they probably only lost like a couple million on Abigail. This movie probably lost at least 20 to 30 million. That's crazy. But yeah, that's the episode. Thank you for listening. Go rate the podcast 5 stars. Leave a review too. I'd greatly appreciate it.